got it up and it is hard. But you should feel immense pride because of how hard it is when you get it up. The problem is, as good as it feels when you get it up, it feels equally as bad when you can't keep it up. You might feel like a failure, you might feel embarrassment, you might feel shame, you might feel like folks are pointing and laughing at you. And that will definitely impact your experience. But what if I told you this? What if I told you that the key to keeping it up is in the pumping? That's right, the pumping action. Guys, cut. We can totally use that same intro for both videos, don't you think? Yeah, don't change a thing. We'll cut right here, and this one will be for the mountain bike video, and then we'll regroup, and then we'll do the same intro. Well, we'll reuse this intro for the other video. Yeah, you know that the other video we talked about? Yeah, on the other channel. Yes. No, not that one. Straight Air, the hot air balloon channel. Of course. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah. All right. We'll do it. All right. Let's go. So, all seriousness aside, just kidding. All joking aside, when folks are trying to learn how to manual, there will be 2 points of failure. The first point will be getting it up. If you make it beyond that achievement, you go to level 2, and that is keeping it up. That's where I think most people quit, because it takes a lot of repetition. It takes a lot of failure, a lot of trial and error, and just failure till your body learns the motions and the balance and you know what it takes to keep the bike up in the air. However, a tip that I think will help most people find success is to not go into it with a reactive mindset, but go into it with a proactive mindset. So let's talk about that right now. So all right, let's talk about this. So what I think most people do is they initiate their manual and they feel as though they're just going to do it perfectly, so they just initiate their balance point and can just get into that balance point. And that becomes their goal, that becomes their mindset. They get the front end up and they want to just lock in. And in reality, that's typically not the case. So here's a tip for you that you can work on to kind of change the way you view the initiation of the balancing point, and to be proactive about it and not reactive about it. And what that involves is simply instantly pumping of your legs. Yo, all right, so I'm on school property right here, so I gotta be super quick and subtle about this so I don't get put on any lists that I don't deserve to be on, and I certainly don't wanna be on. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you what pumping of the hips, repositioning your center of mass, your balancing point over the rear axle, how that works, okay? And I'm gonna do that right here. So pretend like these are my pedals and these are my handlebars. So my arms are straight out and I wanna bring my knees in or extend my legs. And what that does is, see what that does to my beautiful hips? It brings them forward and back. Now let's imagine this line here is the axle, the rear axle, the balancing point on our bike. When our front end starts to drop, what we want to do is shift our hips backward beyond the balancing point to counteract that drop. And then when the front end comes up too much, then we bring our hips a little bit forward. And what that does is it shifts our weight on the balancing point and controls our front end. So that's what I mean by pumping. Now let's go apply that to the bike. So what a lot of people do is when they go in to initiate their manual and they get it up, okay, right there, what they'll do is they'll try to lock in. They won't try to maintain a balancing point. And what they'll do is they'll be reactive. So when they lose their balancing point, because you're so fresh, you're so new at this, your response time is slow and your response sometimes aren't accurate. What will happen is you're delayed. Just a little bit of a delay to balance will bring that front end down. It'll cause failure. Okay, so the first change in mindset that you want to make is when you get that front end off the ground, you get it up, know that immediately you want to start working for that balancing point. Lose the idea that you'll lock into it. So you want to be very proactive when you get that front end up, okay? And just mentally know that it's not going to just lock in. You're not just going to sit there and ride it like you're coasting a bike, okay? Point 2 is this. Once you get your manual up and you've had success for 1 second, whatever your measurement is, half a second, 5 feet, never stop pumping your legs. Keep your legs pumping. What that is going to do is it's going to keep your body proactively fighting for your balancing point. Okay, now you might have to use your brake a little bit like I just did there. And those are all things that go into a successful manual. But you will find that when you actively pump your legs continuously, your body is maintaining balance. It's not waiting to lose balance and trying to gather itself and quickly fight for balance again. So let's look at this again. I'm gonna tilt the camera down a little bit. Again, what we're looking at is as soon as the front end's up, we're active with our hips, whether we know we need to be or not, because we don't think we're gonna lock in. Once we're active with our hips and we feel like we're locked in, we stay active with our hips and we pump. And what that's going to do is it's going to keep our body finding balance proactively and not reactively. So I got a lot of wind here, so I actually have to turn into the wind a little bit. What you're going to find is even in the wind, because we're active with our hips, it's fighting against those wind forces, those crosswinds, which make a big difference. Additionally, you're gonna see that my arms are rarely ever straight out. Some people manual and their arms are completely straight out like ropes. I generally don't do that, A, because I broke my elbow pretty badly and I can't even extend it straight. And B, I find I'm more comfortable and I feel stronger with a little bit of bend in my arms so that I can, manipulate the bike quicker and more efficiently on the trail, because manualing is cool and everything at a school, but when you can do it on a trail is when it really matters. But even with my arms bent a little bit, you got to know that you're not using your arms to find balance, because your arms are going to pull your chest to the bike and it's going to pull your bike down. It's all in those hips. Let's put the drone up.
Dolly track.
Here we go, we're going kind of slow. Gonna initiate our manual, get right to work. Right to work here. And we're working for it because we're going so slow. So that was a lot of work. It probably looks pretty bad, mainly because I was going very, very slow. I was dealing with wind. The faster you go, the more stability you're going to have. So get comfortable covering your rear brake. That way when you get up to speed and you feel close to going beyond your balancing point, you don't loop out. You got your safety here, okay? Anyway, I hope that helps. Go out and give it a shot. It's hard, guys. I know it's hard. But when you can do it, everybody knows that has tried it, that you've had an accomplishment. So stick with it, you'll get it. Peace.